Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for the love on all of the videos. Remember, I promised that I'll be having a guest, and so I have with me Mokunfayo Akporeha.
Yay.
Did I say that right?
Aquarius.
Akporeha.
I think. Yeah.
First of all, I want to say thank you very much for being the very, 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 very first guest on this channel.
Thank you for having me.
It's. I feel like I'm going to look back,
Mm-hmm.
when this channel has grown a lot, and I'm going to look back
Yeah.
and say, wow, she saw the what's that thing? The gold in the dust.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm really grateful for you being here. So Mokunfayo is a mom, she's a wife, she's a data analyst. Don't worry, I'm not about to read one big bio, but yes, and she also has a YouTube channel
Yep.
called Life with
Like
Mooks.
books.
Yes, and I have been blessed, from some of the videos that she shared. So make sure you also show her some love on her channel. She talks about all things lifestyle, Christianity, God, motherhood as well,
Mhm.
and career, everything, So
Right.
just, get on her page and show her some love as well. So, um, like I said, this platform is basically about motherhood, and
Right.
and just, you know, I thought about, you know doing this, and I knew that I couldn't there was no way I could discuss motherhood with just my own story or just my own point of view.
Right.
So, and I just knew that inviting other women
Mm-hmm.
to talk about their own
Mm-hmm.
journey, their own stories would be much more impactful, for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get right into it.
Okay.
um you can just tell us about your story, your motherhood journey, your
Okay.
desire to be a mom, and
Okay.
how it has been so far.
Okay. I don't know where to start from, so I would like just start. Like, if you have any questions in between, you can stop me, or
Sure.
like, yeah, if you want us to deep dive into anything in particular, we can.
Sure.
But I'd say generally, like, I've always known that I'll be a mother, but like, it's not something that I desired.
Mm.
Like, it's not something like I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be a mother. Like, there are people who like have that
Yeah.
motherly nature, and they just like nurture us. That wasn't me. Like, I'll see a baby,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, cute, but then I don't think, oh, I want a baby. So
Yeah.
like, when we got married and all that, like, yeah, I actually thought it would take a longer time to have kids because of like history with period issues and whatever.
Okay.
And it was pretty fast. We got married November 2020, and then by March of 2021, I was pregnant. So I didn't
Did
expect
you
it
guys
to.
want to do the 1 year wait and
My
all of
husband
that?
trapped me because he was like, you know what? He was like, because again, I had like history of endometriosis. I don't know if you've heard
No.
that. And also like fibroids. So he
Oh,
was like so scared of if we wait
what will
and then what will
happen?
happen, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he just like, let's just start trying early. So like after a while, like I wanted to wait for 1 year, but then he was like, you know what, let's just try, like, let's just start. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, even if I start, maybe it will take me longer.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, when we started like, I think we started in January or something. I got pregnant in March. So it was like really fast.
Yeah.
And I was obviously not prepared for it in any way. Because like I said, I've not necessarily been that one to be like, oh, I must have a child like right now and stuff. So it was actually pretty hard because my pregnancy was so rough. It was the worst ever. I'm not trying to scare anybody, everyone's different. Just didn't have nausea or vomiting, right?
Just first trimester.
First trimester, yeah. So I had something called hyperemesis, which means that you have severe morning sickness. It's not morning sickness, it's all day sickness.
Okay.
And mine lasted throughout pregnancy. So I was throwing up. I mean, if you saw me when I was pregnant, you'd be like, oh, now I look much fuller. But when I was pregnant, I was like this. Like, it was so bad. I couldn't keep anything down. Water, food, nothing worked. So it was really, really challenging. And at some point, I got so depressed. I remember talking to one of my doctor friends saying, at this point, like, I don't even know. Like I'm having so many negative thoughts about this whole journey, And then I remember like someone shared a scripture, that scripture that says children are a gift. Children are the heritage of God, and the gift
Mm-hmm.
of the womb is his reward. And I started meditating on that scripture because I was just like, why is this thing that's supposed to be joyful give me
Mm-hmm.
so much pain? Like, because I was I got admitted to the hospital. Like, no, I didn't get admitted, but I went to the hospital 3 times because I was severely dehydrated, and it was just like, this is just not it. Do you get what I mean? So, but yeah, that went on. I had my baby, and then I realized, oh, pregnancy is a lot.
Yeah, I feel like no matter how much they try to tell us, oh, pregnancy is tough, like we
Yeah.
just know these things in our head,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing really prepares you for the actual experience. Like it's
Exactly.
like words are not enough to
Exactly.
describe,
Exactly.
the real
And
experience.
yeah, and like so for me, I was just I think maybe because like it caught me off guard. I mean, and everyone that knows if you're having sex without protection, you should know that there's a risk of pregnancy.
Mm.
But I feel there was a mindset that I had not gotten into. And if my pregnancy was easier, maybe I would have been like I would have gotten into it faster. But then because it was much more difficult, then I just hated the whole process. I was like, this just
Yeah.
sucks completely, right? But yeah, so thankfully speaking, labor, everything, God had his way, it was tough. Like, I had a vaginal delivery. I had an episiotomy, so that means they cut me.
Oh my goodness.
Postpartum was horrible as well. But I feel like that's actually the easiest part because
Mm.
when the baby came, I was not
Oh my
ready
goodness.
for like like literally I went through. I mean, my mom came luckily because she had a visa, but her visa was going to expire after about 2.5 months, 3 months, no,
Oh.
3 months. So she had to leave early, and of course, you know what that
Oh
meant
dear.
dealing with,
Yeah.
you know. And so let me
Yeah.
just
I
stop
think I
here.
had like the
Just
opposite experience. My mom couldn't come
oh, okay.
because they denied her visa.
Oh,
So we
so you had
had
to go to.
to like do
Oh,
like an appeal or something. So she didn't come until my daughter was what? My daughter was already 2 months. So you can imagine the beginning of where the
man, that's the
main
main. That like, so how
yeah.
did you bathe her though?
I did. Oh no, so at the beginning, I wasn't doing any major bathing,
Mm-hmm.
just basically wiping most
Okay,
of the
wiping.
time,
Yeah.
and then once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
I'll bathe her.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
that was really how I managed.
Girl, sorry for you because me, I can't even imagine like how like I would have gone through that because again, like my mom was there for the newborn phase,
Yeah.
so she left. My mom came like probably like 2 weeks before I had my baby. She left when it was like almost 3 months. So he didn't have a routine, but like it was kind of easier.
Yeah.
And because my mom did fantastic. Like she took the hardest shift, which is the
Oh,
nighttime.
great.
So she was
Awesome.
always with him. Like she will only like maybe wake me up when like he's still crying and she thinks he needs to breastfeed or something. But she was
Yeah.
so fantastic. But even after she left, it was horrible. I lost my mind. Actually, I remember telling you the story about how I was so sleep deprived, and then I changed him. I put him like his changing pad is on the dresser, very high dresser, and I
Mhm.
put him on there. My husband was working from home, and I went to meet my husband. I'm like, "Oh, where is Judah?" My husband was like, "What do you mean, where is Judah?" It's not just both of us
Oh
in the
my
house.
god.
I'm like, "Yeah," and then literally he goes, "Are you pranking me or something?" Because I'm like, "Have I ever pranked you?" He's like, "What do you mean?"
That's so funny.
Literally, so we're looking for him everywhere. And then I go
And
into the room and
how
it
old was he then?
was 4 months. He
Oh,
was just
4 months.
starting to roll. So I
Oh
just
my
thank God for
goodness.
preservation. God is so
Yeah.
faithful because the things that the kind of trouble that one would have gotten into, that kind of
Mm,
in fact, if a child falls from that kind of height, there's a very especially at
yeah.
that
At that
age,
age, yeah.
very low chance of survival. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
thankfully he did not roll because he already started learning how to like
moving.
move, right? And then I went to the room and I saw him there on dresser. How like
Forget.
did I forget that he
Remember,
was
Bible
there?
says a breastfeeding mom can forget a suckling
Do
child.
you understand? Oh my god! That day I was like,
Oh
yo,
my
I was
goodness.
like, yeah, this is the point. That's so. After that, I just went to Ottawa to meet to my auntie. Like I stayed with her for 3 weeks because I had it to here. Like it was just too much for me. And again, because I didn't start off with taking care of Judah by myself. So there was that level of comfort. And
Yeah.
my mom literally spoilt me. When it came to Judah, I didn't do much. Like she would, even after doing night shift, when she's awake, she would hold him and everything. So I was just used, like I was lounging. Do you see what I mean? And then
Yeah.
she left, and then it felt like I was just thrown into the ocean, trying to
Yeah.
fight for my life. But eventually, like after a few weeks, no, not few weeks, few months, then I got like used to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think recently postpartum, stress and depression is like recently people
Yeah.
are starting to, talk more about it, and
Mm-hmm.
just everybody's just trying to see how do we support moms in that period.
Yeah.
Is there like in that period, for example, do you feel like I don't know how to put it now. Do you feel like what kind of support in that period do you think? I mean, you already said your mom, helped a lot, but she had left. So with the absence of your mom,
Mm-hmm.
what other kind of support do you think would have helped, during that period?
That's a very good question. I think if I had help, okay, so help from like my friends or like from, do you mean help
Any
like any kind of help?
any kind of
Okay, so if someone was cooking and cleaning for me, that
yeah.
would have really saved me a lot because I think the hardest part for me was I like staying, in a clean environment. It doesn't have to be super duper organized, but let it be clean. I don't want toys everywhere. I don't want clothes on the bed, So having to deal with a baby that needs you and having to still cook, having to still clean. Obviously, my husband was helping, but then
Yeah.
he has a 9 to 5. So the pressure of that, and because of what he does as a software developer, sometimes he works after 5 because he has something to submit, and I cannot now say the only person that is now bringing me many money that come and clean or something. Some women actually have that, like, I don't know, there's something that I've been seeing on social media of late that makes that like puts unrealistic expectations on your partner, like, oh, your man is supposed to help you, which I get, but in a situation where like they are working, what are you going to do? You have to still like be able to, kind of support. So it was just me doing everything. If I had someone to maybe cook and clean for me, then that would have just even like given me a little bit of time. Because think about it, when baby's sleeping, they say sleep, but you have to fold clothes, you have to wash bottles, you have to, eat,
See that see
take
that
a shower,
washing bottles
and
and
sterilizing.
washing breast pump and all the tiny pieces
Oh my
attached to
gosh.
it.
I know. So like I feel
It's
like
something.
if I had a cook, someone that would cook for me and clean for me, that
Yeah.
would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Hmm.
And so maybe we should now move to the aspect of being a mother now.
Hmm.
Parenting.
Hmm.
What has that been like
Hmm.
for you, especially in the kind of environment that we're in now?
Right.
What are the things that like should I say you would constantly, like you have to make a conscious effort
Hmm.
to correct or to you're constantly on the lookout for,
Hmm.
especially in the environment that we're in,
Right.
as regards to parenting. What has
Right.
that been for you? And what
Um.
has been like the biggest, challenge or issue?
Right. So it's very interesting because when I was younger, I used to say I wanted to be a boy mom because I wanted to teach men to do better,
Oh my god! You know
especially
why I'm laughing?
African men.
Because I'm also a boy mom, so
I know, right? Because I wanted to like, teach, like raise an African man, and let them break out of that whole African man, stereotype and whatever. And interestingly, I got a boy. So it's actually been very interesting. I think that different phases have required different, measures of discipline. I mean, he's just 2, so I haven't really like done much until now. Like when he turned like 2-ish, that's when I began to see a lot more of his personality and him like really exhibiting his personality and then his will about things, right? So when I say no, for instance, he wants to say yes. There's another thing where he does where he hits, like he will hit you and stuff. Or for instance, like there's this thing where like when taking from daycare, you know the way our house is, he would run across. You know where you guys parked? He ran across. And then he's so fast, and I'm scared. Like I don't want to catch him in a way that he'll fall.
Yeah.
So those kind of things. I mean, I've found myself being more stern, and more. What's the word now? Like I stand my ground because I find that children can be manipulative, and I say this not in a bad way, but because they're growing, so they cry just because they feel like if they cry enough, they can get what they want. But I'm learning to like. At first, it used to hurt my feelings, like when he's crying, when I say no or something. But now I'm just like, okay, you are crying, but you'll be fine. Like it's okay.
So let me use the opportunity to ask. So do you think you're tending towards the gentle parenting pillar, or you're anti-gentle parenting?
I'm in between. I think it's a mix of both. So I'd like to communicate to my son and say, Judah, don't do that. Right? If I say it more than once or twice and you're not answering me, let's believe that would, enforce another level of discipline. Right? that is not. I mean, I don't feel like you should actually spank your children because you're upset. I feel like spanking should not be your first resort, right? It should not be, out of convenience, I'm just going to do that. But then I feel like there's the place for that. And we're talking about children, right? So you're not like trying to hit them to hurt them, or just little spanks, like, no, don't do that or something. Especially if you have said it multiple times. So I feel like for me, example, my mom beats me a lot for everything, even like things that were child appropriate behaviors. Like if I break plates,
Welcome to African
I know. If I break plates, she'll beat me, or if she, that kind of thing. Just like so, for me, it's like now I'm just learning to, mix both, where I'm not just resorting to just hitting my child for any reason, but like also wanting to just be able to communicate and say, don't do that. And do you know why I'm saying you shouldn't do this? And then, hug, give lots of kisses and all of that. Yeah. So I'm still a rookie. We're still newbies. So God is helping us. Yeah.
That's good. So let me go back to you, as to motherhood. How would you say that your personality has it changed?
Oh yeah.
And what are the things that you've noticed, about yourself evolving as you go on this journey of motherhood, and not just even about like your personality, like your looks, your
girl,
things you like,
girl,
like what are the changes that you have experienced?
A lot. Just go to my Instagram page. You know what I mean? Go to my before and after. You see what I mean? So, for vulnerability and full transparency.
You also have a video.
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I saw that.
Oh my God, my weight has been one of the biggest struggles. It's been such a battle of the mind, and I don't think people understand how much of an impact that can affect not just you but your marriage, your body, how you see yourself, how attractive you feel. Sometimes I catch myself going back to some of my videos and I'm looking at myself, like even before I gave birth, like while I was pregnant, I was like actually quite slim. And I'm like, who is this person? Where are you? Can I get back to this? Learning to love my new body has been the most traumatic thing. Literally, like I had to go through my question. I'm like, when did this happen? And obviously, for me, I know that it was more of because of my pregnancy. I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't eat fish. I couldn't eat meat. Nothing. So after that, I really indulged in a lot of things. I was eating burger, and then because I was going through, also like I won't say the postpartum depression, but I was really sad. So that was my I'm sad. I'm just going to order and skip this, that. You know what I mean? So my lifestyle changed. And I remember one day, after I came back from Ottawa especially, someone saw me in church and then she's like, your husband is taking care of you. But I knew what she meant. No, she didn't say it in a bad way. I feel like that's even one of the nicer ways, to say, because people have been very mean and rude to me when it comes to my weight. And that's when I knew that, man, you look different. And I told my husband, that's one of the things, I was like, I'm really struggling mentally with my body, because things that I would wear before don't necessarily, it's not even about the size. Like, you can there's a way where if you add weight, it's not like that much of a difference. This is like a huge difference. So even in terms of styling, because I like my style was based on how I'm not saying that if you're on bigger spectrum you shouldn't wear certain things, but just see what I mean, that there's some things that I would wear when I was slimmer that if I wear now doesn't is not as flattering just because of how my body is now. So having to get into that new mindset has been so challenging till now. God is helping me. Every time I look in the mirror, I just have to be, you're beautiful,
No, you still look good. Like,
thank
this is not
you.
even me patronizing. Like,
Girl,
on the
I can
like,
drop a few pounds.
so like, for
Yeah.
someone like me, where I'm like on the opposite side of that, where my own body weight journey is like on the opposite. So gaining weight has been like a major issue, and just before I got married, and when I got married, my dad always says, stop at be more, my blow up. Like, he was so sure that once I drop one, I'll do it. Like, he was so sure, don't worry, about one or two, my blow. He was always saying that, my blow up, like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
don't worry, don't worry. I've dropped one, I've dropped two. Nothing's blowing up anyway, and as you were speaking, I just remembered something really funny. Like, I was scrolling through my husband's phone, his gallery. So I just saw this picture, like, he took of me. For some reason, I don't know why I was feeding my son in the toilet. Because we were in the toilet. And I was feeding him. And I was just looking at my body like, I was like, guy, please delete this picture. Like, things are falling apart here. Like, like, please, what is this? Like, just delete it. Because I didn't like the way I looked there. And, a lot of it was from breastfeeding. So, like,
Right.
I was like, what happened? Delete this picture, please, delete it. So I understand,
Right.
that struggle, especially with your body after having a baby. There's just so much, and I try to just make a conscious effort to not focus on it, because it can really take a lot from you.
Oh yeah, it can.
So
It can.
so this is, if you're on the other side like me, just
because they are both sides.
you're not alone.
Yeah.
But I mean, we move,
Girl, we
either
locomote.
way.
I'm doing the best I can, to be honest. I'm taking fitness. There was a time where I was just like, just over it. I was like, okay, I would stab myself and everything. And I just felt it was spiraling down. And, that just affected even like how attractive I felt my husband was to me. So I'm like, you know what, this is toxic. Enjoy your body. You know what I mean? Like, and do what you can while you're on your way to getting to your goal and what you desire. So yeah, that's been the hardest for me. Yeah.
So okay, and as regards to like personality, like your personality, are you more do you think you are more stern? Do you think you are more less judgmental with other people? Like, let me give an example. So for me, I noticed that there are a lot of things that I don't like. I don't care about a lot of things anymore. Like, I just like, see, I've done a lot with my life already. Like, I've had 2 children, so
at this point,
I don't care.
yeah.
Like, I don't care a lot about what people think. I've had that, a bit of that, but right now I'm just like, I don't send your papa, because I have 2 human beings I'm taking care of. There are a lot of things in my mind, on my head. I'm just like, well, even I think for me, like, it's even started to affect the way I dress. A lot of times I'll just wear anything because I was getting so much in that space of I don't care. I mean, I have children. I'm like, I just felt like there was more to life than caring about these little things. But I had to,
reorient.
like, hey, calm down.
Yeah.
So do you have like such have you noticed like any such changes?
Oh, definitely. Like you, like I wouldn't say I really cared about what people used to say before, but I used to be very, like, I would say, gentler with my approach towards certain things. I always try to be more considerate about people's feelings, which is a good thing, but can be a bad thing as well, because sometimes you might also now put yourself at a disadvantage, right? So now that I'm a mom, to be honest, like, I really don't send. I don't
I
send.
think it just like there's
Yeah,
just too much stress.
it's too much stress, to be honest, because I'm thinking, oh, I have like my friends, anything outside of that, you won't, I don't really, you have your opinion, that's good for you, sis, have your
Yeah.
opinion about me, but I don't really care about that. Also, I think I've just been more protective.
Mhm.
My radars are like, my antennas
Mm.
are just so sharp,
Mm.
like as to regarding just my environment generally.
Yeah.
So I'm more like just aware of what's happening around me, and
Mhm.
I'm more in the moment, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to my son.
Yeah.
I'm okay. The thing you mentioned about I'm less judgmental,
Mhm.
because now before, I mean, I used to when people had kids, and because my mom is on smaller spectrum as well, I'll be like, you just shave. There's one Yoruba thing, eti farale or something, like you just let yourself go kind of thing.
Yeah.
And some people like that I know that were really small and then became obese. I'll be like, can't you just diet? I'll never say that with my mouth, so but in
Yeah.
my heart, obviously,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
can't you just watch what you eat? Can't you
Mm.
just? And I just said, I was clueless and actually quite on the borderline of foolish, because if you know what people go through,
Yeah.
your mental health, like you mentioned postpartum depression, right? I know people who are on pills for it, like Jackie, Jackie Hill Perry.
Yeah.
She mentioned that she had to take pills for it, because, and that actually affects every area of your life. People have
Yeah.
eating disorders, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
so when I see moms, I'm like, girl, you're doing good. Like even if I come to your house and your house is scattered, I'm like, whoa, my sister, you don't try. You're doing the
You
best
see
that you can.
that house scattering one too. I was also like on the I don't care. You come to my
Mm,
house. If you see my house scattered, it's because I have children. Like
exactly.
I'm not going to break my head to start arranging, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it takes a conscious effort to,
Yeah. Yeah,
grow
it
back from
does.
that.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Yeah. And I think also, like, I feel more mature.
Mhm.
Almost. I feel like if I didn't have a child, there're just some things that I would not really, really send like that. I don't know how to explain. Like, for instance, like maybe, um, let me think about it. Like now, how I inform myself about certain things because I want to pass them to my son. So I'm doing much
Mhm.
more research on behavior, like certain behaviors of children. What is okay? My
Yeah.
child is doing this. What does this mean?
Right.
I'm more present and trying to inform myself.
Right.
But if I didn't have a child, I don't think I really care about all those things. Like I said, because I wasn't
Right.
really into that anyway. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and so then there's this other thing that I think I personally struggle with, which is just stepping out of like this comfort zone and
Mhm.
exploring in
Mhm.
different areas. Like right now, I feel like I can't do a lot of things because I now have kids,
Mm.
or at least in my head
Mhm.
that it seems to be an excuse.
Mhm.
So for example, we were talking about our 30th birthday and we're like,
Mhm.
oh, and I'm like, I don't want to go with I don't want to travel with kids because I feel
Mhm.
like I won't
That's
be
the
able to
point.
enjoy myself,
Right.
and things like that. And in a way, I see how I'm always putting that forward as
Mhm.
an excuse to not do something.
Mhm.
I want to go somewhere, like, oh no, I have to get my kids.
Mhm.
So that's something I'm struggling with, and I'm trying to see how I can, live life with them. Like they're going to be here for the
Exactly, for a long
next,
time. Yeah.
for a very long time,
Yeah.
and I just have to learn how to live my life with them. Let us experience everything together.
Mhm.
So, do you feel like it might not even be about traveling or anything, maybe
Mhm.
in your career or in your life,
Yeah.
at any point that, having children has made you hold back
For
on
me,
certain things in any way?
honestly, no.
All right.
Because I just one thing I said to myself is, like, when during my maternity leave, I was determined to finish with something tangible. So that's why I said this analysis I'm going to do is I'm going to finish. I feel like I don't want to get to the point where I would look back at my life and be like, I could have done this, but I didn't because of my kids. Because I
Right.
feel that's where resentment
Mm-hmm.
will come in, right?
Right.
Where you start resenting your kids and being bitter. You might not even know that that's what it is. So I
Mm.
always say, I find a way to incorporate it. Like if I'm going out with my friends, I will be like, okay, tell my husband ahead of time, this is what I need to do.
Mm.
Okay, this is when I'm going out from this time to this time. Do you think it's possible? Make something work. I obviously you can't guess everything to the full extent. Like traveling for my birthday, right? I
Mm.
knew that traveling with Judah meant there were so many things we won't be able to do. Like we
Right.
couldn't go out of the resorts, for instance. There were lots of activities that I would have loved to do that we couldn't do, but
Mm.
I still wanted to experience that, right? And obviously my husband was more hands-on on him because he knew, okay, this is my time. So I feel like you might not have like the opportunity to, maybe like shoot for managing director or something at this phase, especially when your children are
Still young.
still very young, but at least you can start a
Mm.
path in it. You can,
Yeah.
whatever it is that you can do, on the side. That's why like I strive for my YouTube channel, whatever ministry God has placed in my time, like whatever it is that I can do based on my capacity, I will do.
Yeah.
Just because I don't like the idea of living your life for your kids. I know they are a part of your life, but they shouldn't necessarily be your life,
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if we go
We'll
on,
just
we'll
keep
just
talking and talking.
something new.
Yeah.
We keep
Yeah.
coming up. But
Hmm.
it's been good. It's
Thank
been
you so,
great. I'm
so
sure that
much.
we would have another
We
session.
should, we should,
Yeah.
we should, we should.
So
Yeah, maybe
guys,
I should invite you to my channel.
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. So guys, I mean, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and everything. And we would love to, also hear your thoughts on everything that has been discussed. What are your own experiences? What have you? What are the challenges that you might have faced? On your own journey to motherhood, and just contributions, comments, questions. In the comments. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mokunfayo, for
Thank you for
coming.
having me. It's been
It was
fun.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll see you in my next video.
Bye.
Bye. The thing that keeps happening.